tonight. And while you would think the age difference might benefit Moreno, we've seen Vic Darchinyan in recent fights. He's not fighting like a 35-year-old.
And the rules for tonight's fights.
They are, in fact, the unified rules. No standing 8, no 3 knockdown rule. Of course, the referee or doctor can't stop the fight. Can't be saved by the bell in any round. And if there is a clash of heads or something that would stop the fight before the end of the 4th, it would be a no contest. After that, they would go to the scorecards.
So we're ready to get our opening bout underway. Let's go to the ring for the formal introductions from Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to the Honda Center here in Anaheim, California, as we have a big night of action in store for you, and it's all brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions, Don King Productions, and Showtime. This bout coming away, a world title attraction, is presented in conjunction with Gary Shaw Productions, and it is sanctioned by the WBA President Gilberto Mendoza, Supervisor Robert Mack, and the IBO President Ed Levine, and Supervisor is Jorge Alonso. Introducing our 3 judges, scoring from ringside, all from the state of California, Jose Cobian, Steve English, and Dr. James Jenkin. And our referee in charge of the action, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Raul Kais Jr. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA Bantamweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first, the challenger on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, the current IBO Bantamweight champion, wearing black trunks with multicolored trim, fighting out of Sydney, Australia, by way of Vanadzor, Armenia. He weighed in at 117 3/4 pounds with a record of 37 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw. He has 27 wins coming by way of knockout tonight. In his 17th title appearance, he is ranked the #1 contender in the WBA. Please welcome the hard-hitting former flyweight and super flyweight champion of the world, introducing the Raging Bull, Vic Darchinyan. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the red corner, recognized as a WBA super champion, entering the ring tonight wearing purple trunks and hailing from Punta Pacifica, Panama. He weighed in at the bantamweight limit of 118 pounds with a record of 31 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. He has 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making the 9th defense of his title, here is the longtime and current WBA Bantamweight Champion of the World, introducing Anselmo Moreno. And our referee in charge now to give instructions, once again, Raul Kais Jr.
Mouthpiece, protector. All right, gentlemen, you received the instructions in the dressing room. You know what's expected. Good, clean fight. Ya recibieron las instrucciones que era una pelea limpia. Legal punches are here on up. Take a good look. De aquí para arriba. Touch gloves. Good luck to both of you. Buena suerte a los dos.
Yes, the proverbial Matador versus Bull scenario to kick off our Bantamweight Bonanza, a division that usually delivers. Anselmo Moreno never down, never stop, but he's never been in there with anyone like Vic Darchinyan. The Raging Bull, almost 10 years older than Moreno, has not looked like an aging fighter, still relentless and intimidating, and in true Darchinyan fashion said he would destroy Moreno, and he makes Moreno flinch. Does he get a noogie? Wow.
He fainted and Moreno flinched. Moreno, we pointed out that he is a herky-jerky style. He's very much a boxer. Notice, though, how he leans in. He doesn't fight tall all the time, and that's going to be something I think he's going to have to do during this fight.
2 awkward southpaws, head clashes, and cuts are concerns. Moreno, a natural right-hander in the purple trunks. Darchinyan in the black with red, orange, and blue. He has, let's see if he has the name Ruben emblazoned. Yep, on the back of his trunks, that is his son. Darchinyan going right at it. really up to Darchinyan to make this a fight and to get the crowd going, because Moreno, a defensive-minded guy, and his last few fights not fan-friendly.
You know, he's defensive-minded, but, you know, he makes his opponent miss. You can be right there in front of him, but you will not land that perfect shot that you want. He's very elusive, Al.
Yeah, and, you know, he might be one of these guys. We talked about the clash of heads, which, by the way, they were both concerned about when we talked to him at the fighter meetings. Moreno may be one of those people that you look at him on tape, and it doesn't really represent how clever and slick he is.
He's slick, savvy, throws a lot, will look to box, move, and counter, and as Antonio pointed out, try to make Darchinyan miss. Darchinyan just pushed Moreno back with the left hand, but can Moreno keep the bull from charging inside? That's the big question. Vic heavy-handed, just like there, that overhand left. He swings for the fences, but he hasn't had a knockout at 118. He's starting this fight like he's trying for his first at 118.
Landed two very good straight left hands. Of course, that's his big meal ticket.
That's the money punch for Darchinyan. He's really working on that right hook and has a good left uppercut. He tries to make you deviate from your game plan and your style with his unconventional approach. Look how he darts in there, gets you off balance. Both guys like to lunge in, so the uppercut could be key tonight.
Moreno has really tried to establish a jab here in this round, and it's been somewhat effective, but not enough to keep Darchinyan from charging in.
Darchinyan missing.
But you see, Darchinyan has loaded up with that left hand. He landed one shot, but he's missed about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Moreno so effective. When you miss and miss and miss all night long, you can't help but get frustrated.
Yeah, good point. Really good point.
Moreno made a point of that in the fighter meeting yesterday. He's really going to try to make Darchinyan miss, and so far, living up to his word. He made a miss there with a straight left hand. It whizzed right by Moreno's chin. The stalking southpaw blasting away, but has missed for the most part. Now let's check out the keys to victory in this fight.
For Anselmo Moreno, you know, he has a height and reach advantage, but he needs to fight tall, not small. Did that to some degree in the first round. When he attacks, he tends to lunge in, as we pointed out. Darchinyan knows this. He's going to look for counterpunches as this fight wears on. And at some point, Moreno, who's not a big puncher, only 11 KOs, is going to need to slow Darchinyan's attack with some kind of big punch. We didn't see it yet. And the jab, which Darchinyan did not use much of in the first round, helps keep him on balance. And that balance is, in fact, very important for him because Moreno has that herky-jerky style, as Antonio pointed out, and you have to be on balance to handle it. Normally, the left is his big punch. I think the right hook could, at some point, be important for him.
Darchinyan very excited because this fight is on free TV in Australia for the first time in 41 years, according to Vic's manager, Ilyas Nasser.
We talked about the jabs, according to show stats, in round 1. How about this? All of the punches Moreno landed, and he landed one more than Darchinyan, were all jabs.
Round 2 scheduled for 12.
Don't pull his head down. Don't pull his head down.
Raul Caiz Jr. Cautioning Vic Darchinyan for pulling Moreno's head down. We mentioned head clashes. Vic sustained a nasty cut on his left eyelid his last fight. Didn't have any stitches. We'll see if it's a factor. Oh, big left hand by Moreno right on the jaw.
And that punch was delivered in a much straighter and more compact fashion than some of the left hands we've seen in some of the previous fights.
But speaking of flinching, Vic didn't.
Well, he's got a pretty good chin.
Pretty good chin. But here comes Darchinyan. Uppercut to the midsection. Firing away. He is really targeting the body. It's almost like he just got a wake-up call. You see the look in his eye.
Moreno landed another little sneaky left hand, talking about lulling your guy to sleep and mugging him. I mean, this guy's real slick, man. I like his defense.
He is a very clever fighter, and that's how he got to be 31-1 and win all these close decisions. He's had a number of split decisions, and he said, I concentrate on winning each round, and that's, you know, he wins decisions that way.
Moreno's only loss, a split decision very early in his career. Here comes Darchinyan pushing Moreno back off the ropes. First fight in the U.S. for Moreno, 25 his 31 wins in his native Panama. Darchinyan 37-3-1 with 27 KOs. The first fighter to unify 3 of the major world titles at 115. Nice uppercut on the inside by Darchinyan. Of course, Vic's 3 losses, the controversial split decision with Maris, the punishing fight with Joseph Agbeko, the memorable 5th-round TKO.
Moreno landed a huge left hand, and Vic Darchinyan walks through it and comes after him again.
And you're talking about power. That was timing. And that punch landed solid. We don't know if it hurt Darchinyan or not, but that was a good, solid punch landed by Moreno.
Well, Moreno said he's going to surprise a lot of people here tonight. Let's see what happens from this point forward. It's interesting.
It really is, and what we're seeing from him is this excellent boxing ability. These are close rounds, obviously, but in this second round, Moreno has landed a few of those punches we talked about.
Yeah, he's controlling the action with his boxing ability, and again, you see Victor missing a lot.
This crowd is really charged up. A big second round for Moreno. Well, the Super 6 final is just 2 weeks away, and Jim Gray sat down with both fighters. Tune in to Stare Down tonight after boxing.
Nice and easy.
You know, there were 2 really good left hands from Anselmo Moreno. There he goes to the body, and then he's setting it up with the jab, lands, as you pointed out, Antonio, it's the timing of that punch that's important for him. And that was a big moment for him, and he would, we'd look at it from above and see that he's using the jab as a rangefinder.
I get that mouthpiece into Darchinyan's mouth. You know, Moreno's no stranger to big fights. He defied the odds by twice winning the WBA bantamweight belt on points against a local fighter in Germany, Vladimir Sidorenko, something only a small handful of visiting fighters have been able to do.
Yeah, nobody wins in Germany against a European fighter. And he's been to Venezuela, he's been to France to fight. He's been on the road. So the fact that there are a lot of Armenian fans here who have, you know, located in the Los Angeles area, not bothering him.
And here's a guy that really has the confidence in his style of fighting. He's not changing anything because he's fighting Victor. He's not trying to load up with his punches. He's doing what he does best. That's counter punch and make your man miss.
Darchinyan with a counter punch after the uppercut by Moreno. Round 3 scheduled for 12, 1 minute gone by. Moreno, a disciplined southpaw with good skills. You can see them on display here.
Look at the punch numbers in this fight. Very intriguing. Moreno landing more punches so far than Vic Darchinyan.
Now look at our show stats. This is a far cry from Moreno's last fight against a non-combative fighter named Lorenzo Parra.
Yeah, that was a snoozer, but against Darchinyan, because Darchinyan attacks so much, it's creating a lot of action.
There's another good left hand.
Wow.
From underneath by Moreno.
And that's the type of punch that will hurt a fighter because he can't see it. It came so fast, and Victor was coming forward. That's where you get your collision. That's where you get hurt at.
Moreno's showing he can lay back and box or come forward and fight.
Football coaches tell you this all the time, don't they? You watch a team on tape, sometimes it's really tough to see how fast or powerful they are. I'm going to tell you, this guy looks so much better in person than he did on video.
Absolutely.
And the difference here with Moreno is he's not running. You know, he's moving, he's using his leg, but he's not running. He's in position to counterpunch.
He keeps a tight defense, slips away from Darchinyan.
And Antonio, your point's well taken. He's not a runner. He will move out of the corner, get space, but then he's there he is in front of Darchinyan.
A welt developing on the right side of Darchinyan's head.
Stop.
No punch, no punch.
Nice little sneaky uppercut with the left inside by Moreno.
See, Abner Mares had the right idea against Darchinyan. He went to the body to slow him down, and Moreno's starting to pick up on that.
10 seconds, 10 segundos.
Final seconds of round 3. There's a beautiful jab by Moreno. And Darchinyan is getting very frustrated. Vic Darchinyan is always looking for a new challenge, as we'll see from his appearance on a French television show. Recently, the Raging Bull actually fought a real bull. In case you're wondering, that's Darchinyan in the costume. Incredibly, Vic told us he didn't tell anybody he was going to do this, which probably prevented several anxiety attacks. Check out this footage.
Gee, I wonder why I didn't tell anybody. If you did this, you'd tell your manager, wouldn't you,
Yeah, you
Antonio?
know, and boxing is way too dangerous. I'm not going to be fighting a bull.
Wow.
Well, it was a happy ending. Darchinyan not only survived, but he won the WBA title, the World Bull Association.
Is that all there is to that word?
I can't believe I just said that.
Just checking.
With this one. They tell you knock him out because he's going under. Don't go to his head, go under.
Well, the Raging Bull charges out for round 4. He's already in the center of the ring. Here we go. He looks very determined after a couple of rough rounds.
You know, we were all told that Anselmo Moreno was a fighter of note, and his record indicates that, but it was hard to tell if he would be able to have the smarts to handle Darchinyan, and he has. And I'll tell you, in the last round, he landed 20 punches, according to show stat numbers, only 8 for Darchinyan, so it was a very big round for him.
And I don't care how solid of a pro you are. When you're hitting a guy and swinging at a guy and you can't hit nothing but air, it frustrates you, it gets you out of your game plan, and it makes you make mistakes
Just like
because
right
you're
there.
desperate.
You know, we asked Darchinyan yesterday how much longer he wants to do this. He said the only way he'd consider retirement is if he felt an opponent was physically better than him. Interesting.
And those jab numbers indicate how Moreno has really controlled this with his jab. You know, Darchinyan's so dangerous, and we're talking about the fact that he's struggling. Of course, he's got that one-punch power.
And a countering straight left hand by Darchinyan pushed Moreno back. That got Moreno's attention. Now a little cautious. The stalking Darchinyan pushed off by Moreno. Going to the body is Darchinyan, missing there.
Man, it's hard to hit this guy. It's
Very
hard to
elusive.
hit this guy.
Extremely elusive.
Stop, no punch. Break, there we go. There we go.
Darchinyan is awkward in his own right, but Moreno is really making him look awkward. That was a glancing blow, and Moreno said, no, you didn't get me. It was off the top of my head. It grazed.
I mean, here we go.
We know that Moreno is fighting a perfect fight. He's fighting a fight that'll give him the best chance to win. What Victor needs to do now is hit mass, hit the body. The man is moving his head. He's slick. Hit his arms. Hit him anywhere. Just make contact.
It's a really great point.
I think Vic is going for the home run right now, and obviously he is missing.
Well, and he made the point that one of the reasons he lost to Joseph Ekbeko in that fight was because he felt like he started looking for a big shot. And he's doing that. And the jab, which we talked about there, he landed it, has not kept him on balance. It hasn't made Vic Darchinyan the balanced fighter that we know when he does that, he's very effective.
Yeah, and the movement is really giving him problems. And like I said, for a veteran fighter, he should be going to the body. Stop looking for the elusive target with the head. Hit his arms, hit his chest, make contact, and everything else will open up for him.
It's a really good
Nice
point.
1-2 combination, left-right by Moreno, and you're right, Al. This is starting to become reminiscent of the Darchinyan and Becco fight. Final seconds of round 4.
Box, 10 seconds. 10 segundos. Pon la campana.
Moreno trying to get his name into the conversation among the bantamweight elite. And there's a grappling move, a wrestling move by Darchinyan. He throws Moreno to the canvas as he takes.
He's going to take a point, I believe.
1 point. Push.
And the reason for that, because he feels that it was intentional. Victor Darchinyan is frustrated right now, and he's losing control.
Don't take matters into your own hands. Time in.
Listen. Everything.
Well, as as Antonio pointed out, it was probably the fact that this looked so intentional. Both men were holding. Moreno was holding here. There's no question about that. And the referee was coming to get him, but Darchinyan couldn't be patient enough and threw him off. And when you do something that blatant, you're going to get a private point deduction.
And, you know, he's been around the game long enough to know better than that. I mean, the round was over. He was couldn't get anything good out of that situation, and the referee took a point from him.
A non-boxing maneuver.
So just be normal out there. And you got to keep hitting first and move and walking around. And you got to start winning the rounds pretty clearly now. Okay, get up. And keep breathing deep.
Well, Moreno is just piling up the rounds now. That was Celso Chavez. Our translator was Felix De Jesus.
Or so we think unofficially.
Absolutely.
Now, the last round would be if in fact Moreno won it, which we believe he did, it was a 10-8 round because of the point being deducted. And by the way, to buttress what you're saying, Moreno's landed 66 punches so far to 36 by Darchinyan. 38 of those are jabs from Moreno.
This crowd is revved up. Round 5 scheduled for 12. Two-time world champion Vic Darchinyan having his difficulty here with Anselmo Moreno of Panama, the former WBA bantamweight champ. He's now known as the bantamweight super champion.
Whatever game plan Victor Darchinyan came in with has gone out the window. Right now, he's desperate to try to make something happen to change this fight around, because in his mind, he feels like he hasn't had much success doing anything, Steve.
And I'm starting to believe Anselmo after what he told us yesterday in the fighter meeting.
He was as confident as you could possibly be, and he felt that he would control these rounds, and to a great extent, he's done that.
Only lost one fight out of 33. We'll take a look at press row. It's pretty close.
Yeah, they obviously two for Moreno, and obviously one for Kevin Bax, the LA Times, Doug Fisher of RingTV.com, and Jairo Geraldo of the LA Opinion. You know, split, and I don't see it that close.
Neither do I.
I've got a 39-36.
It'd be hard to really give Victor Darchinyan around when you see this man is out punching him, he's out slicking him, he's making him miss, he's dictating and controlling this fight from the outside.
I gave Darchinyan the first round. I've not given any of the last three, and of course the last one was a 2-point round.
Here we go. Box, don't turn around like that. Don't turn la espalda.
Less than a minute remaining in round 5.
Stop.
Which brings us to the important question: can Moreno win a defensive-style fight against a big name like Darchinyan? We hope that's the case if it's true, if he really wins, because you don't want reputation to get in the way, but sometimes it does.
Anselmo Moreno in his first fight on American soil. Darchinyan's fought here 13 times, winning 11. And now he's got him in a headlock.
Well, he wants to get into MMA, does Vic Darchinyan, so he's practicing.
He says within 5 months he'd like to battle mixed martial arts. There's a heavy uppercut to the body of Anselmo Moreno.
It's been a little better round for Darchinyan in some respects.
Left hand upstairs by Darchinyan, starting to find a home at the end of the round. Again, Felix De Jesus, our translator.
That's it. Keep working him. You did good in that round, but we clearly have to keep winning the rounds. And watch out, don't turn around when the blows come to the back of the head.
Listen to that. Listen, Vic, just listen to this. You know he's going to hold inside, okay? So throw the uppercut and the hooks, sure. You're holding him too. Listen, he's going like this, Vic. You just throw the uppercut, not from here.
Darchinyan's trainer, Angelo Hyder, who's 2-0 with Vic. The impressive win over Yanni Perez, the easy win over Evans Mabamba, a southpaw tune-up in Armenia. Well, that point deduction at the end of the 4th round could loom large here. We'll see. Darchinyan called for wrestling and pushing down Moreno at the end of the round.
Good advice in the corner that if they're on the inside, those uppercuts and a little hook shorten the punches and land something. I mean, that's good advice, certainly.
Well, Darchinyan started coming on there towards the end of the 5th round. Let's see what happens here on the 6th.
Yeah, I think that was one of his better rounds. He pressed him, he pressed him back aggressively. I think he still was a little bit out of control. We know this guy can box. Right. We know this guy has multi-talents. Good left hand.
And back comes Moreno with a right. He says, bring it on, Vic. This tough kid.
The total numbers demonstrate how Moreno has really controlled this fight. And a good left again by Moreno.
Moreno scored.
Oh, he may have stunned Darchinyan there.
And back comes Darchinyan, but Darchinyan does look a little withered. Another shot by Moreno.
Moreno is showing that he's not going to run. He's not going to take a step backwards. He's manning up right now, and he's landing some good shots. Those body shots.
Oh, yeah. You can see the expression on Darchinyan's face, and now that was a low blow.
Now, in truth, that's the first time that we have really seen Moreno go low in a blatant fashion or something that's really gone very far low. So, but he's correct in giving Darchinyan a chance to walk this off.
And the referee said it was accidental. It wasn't intentional. But again, those low blows has an effect on you.
Yes, ask Joseph Agbeko.
Hope this isn't foreshadowing.
Isn't that coincidental? Well, he could have taken 5 minutes. Raul Calles Jr. said take all the time you need, but Vic right back into the fray, missing with the right hand.
That came at an inopportune moment for Moreno because he really was on a rally there. So the fact that he landed one low hurt him. But he's landed some good power punches, Moreno, in this round. His best power punches of the fight.
And how much does it take out of you, Antonio, when you're constantly missing?
A lot, and it does a thing to you mentally more so than physical, because you're saying, I can't hit this guy at my best shot, and it burns a lot of energy when you're missing in there and frailing away like that.
And as you were talking, Darchinyan nailed Moreno with a huge body shot, tries another one, misses with an upstairs left hand. This guy is just so fast, Moreno.
And it looks like Victor is getting a little bit reckless. He has to be mindful of the fact that this guy's a sharpshooter as well, and it could set himself up for some big shots.
I agree. He took a big uppercut from Moreno there.
And reckless here in this case could also mean head clashes, so we'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Moreno getting cautioned again for using his shoulder. That's the second time.
Moreno is desperately trying to land that left uppercut as Darchinyan comes in. He really wants that punch.
That was a slip. Final seconds of round 6. Things really heating up here in Anaheim. Well, it's an historic doubleheader of combat sports showcasing the Super 6 final, Ward versus Froch, and 2 Strikeforce title fights, Melendez versus Masvidal and Cyborg versus Yamanaka. That's December 17th on Showtime.
Okay, now you're doing a much better job this round. Now we're up here in the 6th round. We're still up, but you got to keep maintaining the pressure. We can't slow down. We got to keep the same pace. Let me get some water. Okay, let's go. Get up.
Big night here for Anselmo Moreno, looking for the upset in his American debut as we enter round number 7, scheduled for 12. Moreno in the purple trunks. Darchinyan, a 2-time world champion, 11-2 in the United States, has had his problems here against the Panamanian.
Moreno just landed a 1-2, real crisp 1-2 right in front. And it looks like Victor now is trying to box with him.
Vic off balance, slamming off the ropes.
Press row scoring, by the way, Jairo Geraldo from the La Opinion. You know, he has it for Darchinyan by 1 point still. Clearly, Baxter and Fisher agreeing with us that Moreno has done more in this fight. And for the first time in the last round, Moreno landed more power punches than he did jabs. That's a shift in how he's approaching this fight.
It definitely is, Al. And again, it seems as if he's been landing the more crisper, sharper punches. Now Victor is in front of him, and I thought he was coming out this round to box a little bit more. But again, he gets aggressive and he gets a little bit wild.
And, you know, I remember when we had Edwin Valero on, and he came on our show, the late Edwin Valero, and you looked at tapes of him before, and he came on the show, and you thought he's not really as good as his record. And he was better than his record. That's the same as Moreno. Look at those body shots.
Huge body punches, ferocious stuff from Moreno. You can see the grimace by Darchinyan.
Moreno is a solid fighter who gets more leverage on his punches here than I remember seeing when we looked at him.
And he's fast. The guy has reflexes, unbelievable reflexes and instincts. I think instincts is his biggest asset because he feels the pressure from those punches and he makes them miss by a little bit, and he's able to still counterpunch. Look at that miss right there. Beautiful defensive work.
Oh, and then he follows it up with a shot to the midsection.
The body work of Moreno is important. You know, Vic Darchinyan is a powerful puncher, and that's always in the back of your mind here, but he is missing so much, it's going to make him tired in this fight. And you're right. You made the point, Steve. He's never knocked anyone out as a bantamweight.
That's right. He was trying to just now, though. And he's thinking of moving up to 122, Darchinyan. Interesting, huh?
That's such a good idea.
Again, Moreno to the body, then up to the chin with the left hand.
Well, you don't have 8 title defenses without having something, but this is the best I have seen Anselmo Moreno by far.
10 seconds, stop at the bell. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
That little sidestep, man, he's tough to hit.
Earlier tonight, Jim Gray had a chance to talk to IBF bantamweight champ Abner Mares.
Well, it's a very festive atmosphere in here. You got your band playing. Is this reflective of your attitude, real light and easy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is what I like, this kind of music. And, you know, it awakens the Abner inside of me. You know, it cheers me up, you know, wakes me up, and it gets me going.
Abner, you heard from the referee. He said he's going to enforce the rules tonight. How much has it affected you, what happened in the controversy in the last fight, and how much will it change your game plan tonight?
It affected me dearly. It affected me a lot because people, you know, were talking bad. People now are seeing me and looking at me like a dirty fighter, you know, when I'm not. So, you know, I'm glad this fight is happening, you know, so I could demonstrate and show that, you know, I'm a clean fighter and I can win fights without, you know, any controversy.
Will you have to change your blows to the body?
No, well, definitely keep them higher, you know, but definitely I'm a fighter that likes to work the body, but we're definitely going to continue to work the body.
All right, Abner, best of luck. We'll talk to you after the fight.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jim. Mares extremely loose. That might be the first time Jim Gray has ever been serenaded during an interview.
Well, during an interview, I'm sure other times he has.
Marazek Beko 2 later tonight in our main event.
That's a confident young man, Abner Mares, who handles himself well. And in the last round, the most connects for Moreno, 22. That's the most he's had in this fight. Only 11 for Darchinyan. So the tide in this fight is, oh, here comes Moreno with power punches. Might have hurt him, Steve.
A series of punches, lefts and rights, combination by Moreno, and Darchinyan does look a little stunned right now. It's really slowed him up.
Oh, boy.
He is pouring it on here in early round 8. There's another body shot by Moreno.
And I thought coming in that right hook to the body was his best punch. You know, he's a right-handed fighter that fights southpaw. Right. And that jab, he's dictating the moments. He's controlling this fight. I don't know how these judges could possibly give more than 1 or 2 rounds to Victor Darchinyan.
Well, I tell you what, that's not my opinion.
You know, this is the first round. Now, Moreno, and to talk about a smart fighter, he had Darchinyan hurt, but he didn't rush in after him. He's fighting the same fight he fought. He's not beginning reckless once he hurt Darchinyan. This is some performance.
Welt under the left eye of Darchinyan. Again, Moreno making a miss, and then he careens into the ropes.
Okay, now Vic has been doing this for round after round after round. He sees that he cannot catch this guy with a clean punch. He needs to right now start boxing, throwing that jab to the body and throwing combinations. Maybe Moreno running a big punch or something.
And the other problem is, a nice jab by Moreno, it's all about the left. See, there's the right hook, but he's not throwing it under control. I think a double right hook to the body and the head would work for Darchinyan. He hasn't thrown any.
He's getting picked apart right now, and Moreno is fighting a beautiful fight. I hope that the judges will agree, and you know, if he finished this fight like this, keep his championship.
He just hurt Darchinyan again.
Yeah, big body shot. Darchinyan, who is supremely confident, you have to wonder if he's starting to get discouraged here. How much will it take to make Darchinyan discouraged?
I think he's discouraged. He's been discouraged for a while because he cannot land the punch that he wants to land and change this fight around.
Under 30 seconds left in the 8th. Another good round for Moreno. Moreno just brimming with confidence here, again making Darchinyan miss. Darchinyan, who turns 36 a little over a month from now.
Stop! Stop at the bell, gentlemen. Listen for the bell.
Well, the Army-Navy rivalry is a storied one, and Showtime presents a unique look at its history with a Game of Honor, December 21st at 10.
Listen to me.
That, obviously, that looks like a fantastic show, very intriguing, and we got a pretty big rivalry coming up in a little while.
Mara Zikbe.
You want to slow him down and win the fight? Vic?
Give me some water. We're perfect conditions. You just got to keep going and control the fight. Now we are winning the fight. This is the 9th round coming up now. He doesn't like the upper. He doesn't like the upper that I'm giving him.
I've heard you say, Al, that Darchinyan's career has been like a 3-act Broadway play. First he wanted to be the bully, then after Nonito Donaire he looked to reinvent himself as a boxer, then went back to his old ways against Agbeko. Then he came back. His last few fights looked very good, particularly against a very fine fighter in Yanni Perez, but he is struggling in this one tonight against Anselmo Moreno of Panama in the purple.
I think we need to give Anselmo Moreno his just due. He's a guy coming in with, you know, first time in America, coming in not with the big reputation as a Vic Darchinyan. And here's a guy that's made a name for himself tonight. If he can pull this victory off, we got another bantamweight that, you know, a lot of people are going to want to fight after this fight.
Darchinyan thought that Moreno might be intimidated by the scene, by the environment, you know, awestruck. His first fight here in the United States, fighting against a named fighter like himself, Vic Darchinyan. And there's a smacking straight left hand by Moreno. But that is not the case at all. No intimidation factor whatsoever.
This guy is composed and poised as a fighter you want. Reminds me of Sweet Pea Whitaker. I mean, he's doing the moves and everything just like a Sweet Pea, and he's a southpaw.
That is a great analogy. That is the perfect analogy.
And high praise, press row.
You know, Kevin Baxter and Doug Fisher, bigger margin, but now Jairo Geraldo has Moreno ahead. All three, you would have to assume that he's ahead, and another straight left hand by Moreno.
And another thing, he's the aggressor now as we go in the 9th round.
Yes.
He's pushing Darchinyan back. He's not backing up.
Well, he's landing a high percentage of punches. He landed 58% of his punches in the last round, did Moreno. So he is landing what he's throwing.
And Darchinyan now starting to look tired.
Tired, and also he's frustrated. He's not throwing any punches now because he's missing so much.
Another left hand. A left cross by Moreno, and almost everything is stinging Darchinyan. He makes a miss, and then he counters Moreno. Beautifully done. It's right out of the textbook.
Darchinyan has been very one-dimensional in this fight, and The reason I put the right hook in the keys to victory is because he needed something different. The left hand wasn't going to win him this fight outright, and he hasn't tried anything else. Jab, straight left hand, that's about it. There's a hook, but not too many of them.
And coming into this fight, we felt that Victor Darchinyan would win another title and be in the mix with all the big bantamweights out there. But now they have to look at Anselmo Moreno as being one of those guys. He's the super champion. I mean, and he's made a name for himself tonight.
Vic fighting almost as if he underestimated Moreno. He's looking past him. And he continues to miss.
Good job, guys.
That's it. This is your fight. Great job. But you got to keep going, so there's no doubt. Just keep going strong with the rounds that are left. Don't stop hitting. Just keep hitting. And your great defense that you have. Okay, just keep breathing deep.
Moreno has put his punches together as well on several occasions. Now, there's that straight left coming with the right hook, which just grazed Darchinyan. But that's a demonstration of the fact, and you pointed out, Antonio, he's standing now and he's fighting.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Al.
There's swelling around both eyes of Darchinyan.
That's all you got to do.
A big sense of urgency in that Darchinyan corner. Angelo Hyder with some final thoughts.
Angelo Hyder keeps throwing the right hook in the corner to tell him to throw it. It's just Vic hasn't thrown it.
Right. They call him Chimito in the purple. You can see the nickname on the front of his trunks. It came from his dad, who has the same full name, Anselmo. They called him Chemo. Chimito means little Chemo. From a family of 16, 10 brothers and 5 sisters, Chimito Moreno.
Stop! Wait. Let me get some off here. Okay, here we go.
And he's the only fighter.
Fought in tournaments when he was as young as 8 years old. And they used to throw coins in the ring.
Right. And then 174 real amateur fights, won 5 national titles, and then won the WBA bantamweight belt.
Here we go. Box.
Beats Sidorenko twice. I mean, he's got some pretty good accomplishments on his resume. Oh, look out now. A straight left hand that either stunned Moreno or he was off balance.
I think they got their feet tangled up there in the ropes, but
well, those numbers speak volumes, don't they? I mean, that is pretty extraordinary to be out-punching Darchinyan more than 2-1 at this point in the fight.
That means he's running away with this fight.
Yeah.
And on my scorecard, he's running away with this fight.
I agree.
Midway through the 10th round, scheduled for 12.
Box.
Are we on the threshold of an upset? Darchinyan came in favored, pretty heavily favored.
11-5 in some quarters.
Yeah, and I just think that's because Moreno is not a known commodity in America, and everybody knows Vic Darchinyan. He's on everybody's tongue, but you know, this guy has really performed well tonight, and I just hope that the judges concur.
The man in the purple trunks is making a name for himself tonight in America.
And in truth, if you looked at those videos that we another good left hand by Moreno. If you looked at those videos we looked at, he was not as precise and perfect as he has been here tonight. He was good, but not like this.
And you also have to remember his competition.
Yes.
It just wasn't up to par.
Very good point.
And he was chasing and chasing. In fact, in the last fight, the fans were booing, but they weren't booing him. They were booing his opponent.
Well, and again, you know, he knew that he had to come in here because the stakes were high. You know, he's the champion, and it's hard to, you know, beat a champion. He's defended his title numerous of times. He wants to remain and get all the fruits of his labor.
Stop. No punch, no punch. Here we go. Box.
He's never lost over 12 rounds. He's 3-0-1, Moreno. Vic is 5-2-1 over 12 rounds.
Earlier tonight, Jim Gray spoke with 2-time champion Joseph King Kong Beko.
Joseph, how much has it bothered you over the past several months that you lost your title in such a controversial style?
It really bothered me a lot. I mean, especially on that night, it really affected me. But after some few days, IBF fought for a rematch, so I called myself I call myself a blessed one on the day that IBF fought for the rematch. So I'm glad it has happened in the days here. So we just have to get into the ring and take care of business.
You heard the referee's instructions to you. He did the same thing over there with Mares. Are you concerned about low blows tonight?
I'm not concerned about low blows. After I've put in the pass behind me, the referee's in the center to do his job, and the word will be watching. So it's not up to me to complain, but the word is going to see if it's low or not. But I'm not concerned. I just have to focus on taking what belongs to me.
All right, Joseph, best of luck, and we'll talk to you after the fight.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's go back out to ringside.
Becco looking to win back the IBF Bantamweight crown from Abner Mares later tonight in our main event.
Anselmo is managed by his wife, Rose. Interestingly, there are other husband and wife teams in which that's the case. And he said, everyone will know me after this fight. You know what? I think he's right. Of course, he's got a little ways to go here yet, but so far it's going well for him.
Out of Punta Pacifica, Panama, a 9-year pro, 31-1-1 with just 11 knockouts, but he is racking up the points here tonight against the Raging Bull, who has been frustrated. Moreno has made a miss. He has constantly gone to the body and connected, has Moreno.
And for Vic Darchinyan at age 35, while you don't overstate this is a difficult night for him and could have repercussions when you're that age at the upper echelon of your division.
Yeah, and I agree. It's just the style. It's a style matchup that gave him nightmares tonight, and he has another round to try to solve it and figure this puzzle out.
Making a miss again. I asked Moreno yesterday at the fighter meeting, did he plan to follow the path of Abner Mares when he fought Vic Darchinyan and try to slow Vic down by going to the body? And he just looked at me and smiled. I think the answer was yes.
He has done great body work in this fight.
Yeah, I don't think Abner Mares had this much success against Victor Darchinyan. This guy here is another fighter altogether. He has his own style. Look at that. He ducked that right hand to the body. He's confident in what he can do good, and that's make fighters miss and counterpunch.
Yep. And that was a different texture to that fight with Mares. It was a bloody mess, if you'll recall. A very controversial split decision.
Press row scoring widening, although Jairo Geraldo still has it very close from Moreno. But Doug Fisher and Kevin Baxter with a more sizable edge, as I think Antonio and I have. I can't imagine, honestly, that Vic Darchinyan's in the hunt for a decision here.
I agree with you, Al. But I've seen crazier things in boxing.
Yes, we have. You've experienced one or two. I remember those darn Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
We approach 30 seconds left in the 11th. We are in the championship rounds. Left hand up the top by Darchinyan, but he didn't get full effect.
And the way he's coming in, squaring himself up, as Antonio pointed out earlier, he is wide open for one of those potential uppercuts or short hooks by Moreno.
As I'm looking at this round unfold, I don't know if Victor Darchinyan could have did anything tonight to change the way Moreno has fought.
Maybe not.
Fought brilliantly.
Come on, break date. Come on, break date. Break date, John. Go. Break date. Now listen. You got one round and we think it's very close. We're going to need to knock him out. You understand? You understand we need to stop him? But Vic, again, it doesn't mean that you can... Okay.
Make sure that you stay way away from his punches. You are the champion. Just keep moving around with no problem. You have this fight. Here's the last round. I want a little more water, please. Thank you.
To this point, a smart, savvy crafty, classy, masterful performance by Anselmo Moreno.
And great work by Chavez in the corner as well with his advice. How about this, gentlemen? Moreno has outlanded Vic Darchinyan in all 11 rounds, and now he has 202 punches landed to 93 by Darchinyan, and that's staggering.
It really does appear, I mean, Antonio did point out wisely so that you never know anything that happened with the judges, but it does appear that Darchinyan would need something dramatic here to win this fight, as in KO. Not even sure a knockdown would be enough. He's going for it. He's got that money punch. He does have one punch knockout power with the left hand. He is always dangerous. Keep that in mind.
But the difference here is that,
He pushed him. That was a push, and it was a vicious push. Moreno says he's all right.
Moreno's lucky to get injured with his leg or something when he went down.
That may have been the intent.
But again, look at Moreno's face. Nothing phases this guy, and I just have to give credit. This guy has a very high boxing IQ, and he sticks to his game plan. He's doing what he does best. And man, he's going to be hard to beat for any fighter.
He knows who he is. He's only 26.
Halfway through the 12th and final round. It's for something called the WBA Bantamweight Super World Title. Moreno is the title holder, but Darchinyan came in an 11-5 favorite.
Yeah, the WBA has several championships, including a super, an interim, and the regular champion. Beautiful combination.
The final minute of the final round. Darchinyan missing wildly with a big left hand. And that has been the scenario all night long.
And that Matador has really controlled his move tonight.
You made that analogy 2 days ago, and it's been sticking in all our minds. And boy, were you right, man. That's exactly what this has been.
Darchinyan awkward, as we said earlier, in his own right, but Anselmo Moreno making him look even more awkward tonight.
Unless there's a miracle, this is going to send some shockwaves.
There's a big left hand by Moreno. Remember the name, Anselmo Chimito Moreno, making his mark here tonight in Anaheim, California, over two-time world champion Vic the Raging Bull Darchinyan. We are heading for the bell in the biggest night in the career of Anselmo Moreno. The crowd standing and saluting. And Darchinyan looking awfully wobbly. Moreno looking very fresh and very happy. While we await the decision, join hosts James Brown, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms, and Warren Sapp for the Emmy-winning Inside the NFL every Wednesday at 9 p.m.
I want to point out that all three analysts have picked the Buccaneers to defeat the Panthers. You're going to feel good about that. And my Bears to beat the Chiefs. So if they're right, and we know these guys are never wrong on Inside the NFL, we're going to be happy this weekend. Are they wrong? They're never wrong.
I don't know how they can pick the Bucks to beat anybody right now. I'm rooting for them.
We saw some football moves tonight by Vic Darchinyan. So a very confident looking Anselmo Moreno talking things over with his handlers, and he has to feel pretty darn good about things right now.
The show stat numbers are stark if you're Vic Darchinyan. He landed only 101 punches. His punch number was doubled in terms of what was landed by Moreno. He threw more, but of course he missed so many, Antonio, and that was the story of this fight, wasn't it?
Yes, it definitely was. And again, you got to take your hat off to him. He came in with his game plan. He implemented that game plan, had Victor out of control. wild tonight, missing a lot. It just wasn't his best night, and it was the best night Moreno could possibly have.
By far.
And that's not a face you usually see after you get in there with Vic Darchinyan. It's pretty clean looking.
Only Nonito Donaire had that face.
Let's make it official with our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Dr. James Jankin scores the bout 116 to 111. Steve English sees it 117 to 110. And Jose Cobian scores the bout 120 to 107. All three in favor of the winner. And still the WBA Bantamweight Champion of the World, Anselmo Chemito Moreno.
All three judges had it by wide margins, won by 13 points, 120 to 107. Justified, I would have to say.
Extraordinary effort by Moreno, and he said we'd all know him after this fight, and boy, do we.
And I'm looking forward to listening to Vic Darchinyan, reasons why he couldn't get the job done tonight, because he always come up with something.
A major setback for Darchinyan. Moreno prevails in the biggest fight of his career. Post-fight reaction time. Up to the ring, and Jim Gray.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Anselmo, congratulations to you. Felix De Jesus will translate for us. How did you dominate this fight against a guy who had 10 years more of experience and had a couple of belts coming into it as a former champion?
Bueno, ahora primero que todo te lo voy a decir algo. Un saludo para mi esposa, para mis hijos que vienen en camino, para mi mamá que la amo mucho, para mí y contento. Pienso que para ser la primera vez lo hice bien. Cada pelea voy a seguir mejorando cada vez más y bueno, seguir cosechando triunfo para mi país, Panamá.
He's extremely happy with the fight that he showed today, and he's going to show more in upcoming fights here in the U.S. And of course, he congratulates his wife. They're going to be having twins.
Congratulations, that's terrific. And she also is managing your career as of right now. How is he able to frustrate and cause Darchinyan to miss so much tonight?
Vic Darchinyan.
Bueno, yo sabía que lo iba a frustrar, sabía que era un hombre que se pone muy agresivo, muy bruto y sé que haciéndolo fallar iba a perder la paciencia y eso fue lo que hice. Bueno, un poquito nervioso ya que era mi primera pelea en los Estados Unidos, pero bueno.
I was a little nervous because it was his first fight in the U.S., but he knew he was going to frustrate him. He thinks he's a stupid fighter, and he knew he was going to dominate him after a while.
What caused you to be so confident coming into this fight?
¿Te dio tanta confianza para esta pelea?
Bueno, yo creo que mi esquina, más que todo, una esquina maravillosa que tengo. Mi entrenador Celso, que venimos trabajando duro, todo mi preparador físico y bueno. Esta pelea se la dedico a todas mis fanaticadas panameñas que sé que están gozando en estos momentos este combate.
He dedicates the fight to Panama, and of course his corner was extremely well, did the job today.
Akbeko Mares is fighting next. Would he like to fight the winner, and who does he think will win this evening?
Que gane de Akbeko y Mares.
Bueno, esa es la pelea que yo siempre he anhelado, venir a los Estados Unidos y pelear con los mejores. Espero que gane de la estelar me dé la oportunidad de pelear con uno de ellos y a eso es lo que vine, a hacer mi trabajo y pelear con los buenos.
That's the fight he's always wanted, and he wishes that whoever wins the fight tonight will give him a fight next.
Congratulations. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Vic Darchinyan.